Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the first episode of my book documentary series. So essentially, today in this episode, I'm going to explain the reasons why I have decided to publish the book and just give you a bit of background on how I've got to this point. So just to take you back a couple of steps, this is not actually the first book that I'm writing. I have already written another book called The Startup Ignition Kit. Those that have attended my workshops know what this is about. So essentially, over the past 3.5 years I've been running these workshops. If you have an idea to get from 0 to 1, how do you get started? Where do you get started? You come up with an idea, you get so excited, but you have no idea where to start, and there's so much confusion. So I have a legal background, a consulting background in HR, marketing, business development, sales, you name it. And I'm a bit of a wheeler dealer, a bit of a jack of many trades. So I've sort of combined that experience, my entrepreneurial experience and my professional experience into a really simple, easy to digest concept. And people that have attended my workshop, I always give away that book for free. If you want a copy of it, actually, just hit me up. I'll send the book over to you for free. So anyway, why have I decided to publish this book called, the Simon T. Says book? So essentially, for those of you that do not already know, for the past 1 year, for 52 consecutive weeks, up to about last week, I have been producing a video called Simon T. Says, hashtag Simon T. Says, a 1-minute video of motivation, inspiration, and encouragement to get you through the week, to get you through life, to get you through the hard times, essentially. And so when I finished that, a couple of months ago, somebody said to me, hey, you should write a book. But I've never really thought about myself as a writer. I've always thought myself as a creator. So basically, when I thought about it, I realized, wait a minute, I already have this huge manuscript, right? Every single week before I think about what I'm going to say, before I did Simon Says, I always thought about what I was going to say and I wrote it. And some weeks I'd get super inspired and write 4 or 5 of those, and some weeks I wouldn't. But I have this huge manuscript already. So that made it really, so reason number one was I already had a manuscript, and that made it really easy for me to write the book. And the other thing as well is that, I was listening to hip hop, so legacy. Second reason is legacy. So I was listening to an old school hip hop track by Tupac, and the song is called Letter to My Unborn Child, right? And in this track, basically, he talks about, he says these things that he would say to his unborn child if he wasn't there. And it really just got me thinking, of course I haven't got any kids that I know of, but if I did have kids, a lot of my friends now are getting married, having kids. If I did have kids, what would I say to them, right? What would that be like, What's interesting is that, I hear all these incredible stories about my grandfather. So my granddad died when I was really young, and so I hear all these incredible stories. And my dad, of course, is still around and is incredible. But I always think about what were they like when they were younger. What were they getting up to? What was their personality like? What were they getting up to? And I just thought if I could document something that I could leave behind, legacy basically. For my kids and grandkids and great-grandkids and everybody else could be able to see and say, this is what this dude was like, this is what he got up to, and this is what he was thinking, this is how he thought, this is how he processed things. And so that made me think, maybe I really did need to think about actually writing a book, because then that would be a piece of work that I can hand over. So that was the second reason. The third reason was that I just wanted to do something with impact, something to contribute to the world. We have a responsibility. If you have been given a gift and you've been given a talent, you have the responsibility to share that gift with the world, to inspire to inspire people around you, to inspire your community, to inspire the world, and to do something that moves people. What's really interesting is that, there's a really old story in the Bible of a master that had 3 servants, and he gave one, I think it's called the parable of the talents. So he gave one of his servants 1 talent, and then the other 3 talents and then the other 5 talents. And then he went away traveling. He told them, look after these talents. So he went away traveling. And when he got back, he got back and he then asked them, look, what have you guys done with these talents? The one that was given the 5 talents had doubled his talents. The one that was given the 3 talents had doubled, to 6. But then the one that was only given the 1 talent had literally buried his talent within the ground and done nothing with it. So he was really angry. So the ones that had doubled their talents were told, were actually, given the other talent. They were allowed to keep their talents. So essentially, the moral of the story is this: we have a responsibility. You have a responsibility. I have a responsibility. We all have this responsibility to essentially maximize and use all the talents that we have in order to make our world a better place. I believe in making our world a better place. I believe in, changing the world. And here's the thing, right? I know it sounds wishy-washy and all this, but the truth of the matter is, what's your legacy going to be? Is it going to be, the material stuff that you bought and owned and used? Is it going to be the cars and the flashy houses? What's your legacy going to be? You need to think about that. And for me, in writing and sharing this book with the world, it's just me saying, hey, look, if you're going through hard times, if you're going through ups and downs, a simple one key message that can get you to reflect and think about what your week is going to be. And the beauty about this sort of book is it's applicable. I once had a church pastor preacher saying that pastors and they have a very cliche response to every given human condition you can think about, and essentially it's kind of similar to this book. Literally, whatever you're going through. So essentially, what I've done is I have compiled 52 messages, obviously of my own, and then I have asked close friends and family to contribute as well, because the thing is, look, motivation, inspiration and encouragement just doesn't come from oneself. It just doesn't come from you. It comes from those around us. So it is for that reason that I've asked for contribution. So in total we've got 72 messages. So you get 20 extra. And the other thing as well I've done is in the next episode you will see I am working with an incredible, phenomenal young artist and illustrator by the name of Willem. Willem is incredible. So essentially what we've decided to do is we are essentially going to sort of beef up the book. So every message is going to have a very, very cool illustration that goes with it. So very minimalistic, clean, elegant illustration. And the whole reason is that, that illustration should sort of magnify and amplify each message. And so then that doubles the size of the book. But yeah, I'm super excited about this book. And I can't wait for you guys to see the end product. And honestly, look, do not hold back. If you have a talent, if you have a gift, maximize each and every single ability. When I started the podcast, I just started because I thought, hey, I'm really good at having conversations with people, and entrepreneurs love talking about themselves. Why not share that? When I started doing the workshops I do for people that have ideas and have no idea where to start from zero, I have a bit of knowledge. Well, how can I use that to help people? And essentially, I keep, with every single step in my life, I just keep learning and kind of enjoying the journey and using each and every single ability I have to make the world a better place. So, what are you going to do? How are you going to change the world? How are you going to inspire people around you? What are you going to do with the talents and gifts that you have been blessed with? Think about that. Have a great week and see you next week for the second episode of the book documentary series.